Son's name we pray. Amen. You can face the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And the four-way test of the things we think, say, and do. First, is it true? Second, is it fair of all concern? Third, will we build goodwill and better friendships? And fourth, will be beneficial to all concerned. All right, thank you, thank you. So I see one guest, although I hardly call her a guest. I see one guest this morning. Reba, would you like to stand up and say hello to everybody? All right, yay! Yeah, we've missed you, so glad to know that. That's awesome. Any other guests this morning? I don't think so. All right, well, we'll move on into our announcements. I know. Where'd Chris go?
He's right here.
Oh, there he is. Sorry, I lost you. You were sitting by Brooks last time I saw you.
About that. So barbecue time. It's 5 weeks from Saturday. So 5 weeks from Saturday. So it is here, folks. It's time. First thing, we will meet tomorrow morning at 7:00. You can come to Pinnacle 214 West College, or you can Zoom in, whichever you would like. But we will meet at 7 a.m. since I will be there. Another big thing that's out there now is the sign-up sheet. So we've got our sign-up genius. Bill also has a physical copy with him. So if you would just like to look at it and write your name on something, you can see Bill, please, after the meeting or whenever, and try to catch that. Or you can go to the connector, and Daniel had the link in there, and make sure that folks get signed up. We need everybody and anybody. There's a lot of effort. Excuse me?
Family and friends and neighbors and strangers. People you don't know. Sorry.
It's okay. So any family members that want to, you don't have to ask. Anybody that you want to get, we'll take anybody. There's really no qualification other than showing up. And we'll have new shirts this year. Thanks to Steve and REI. So we'll have new shirts there. So you'll be able to look sharp, and who knows what they'll say on them. That's for sure. So please do sign up, because it's important we get maximum effort for this. And again, it's 5 weeks from Saturday, so it is here. Sponsorship wise, we are up to $78,445 total. Now that includes in kind of about $12,445, which I need to update. And then cash wise, we're at $66,000. So we're still about 11 or so short from where we were last year. So if you haven't told me, if you're a Rotarian and you have given in the past, thank you. If you would like to give this year, that would be fantastic. All you have to do is tell me. I don't necessarily need a check right now, but we need to know what that is so we can kind of get everything counted. It's important we get as much effort as we can, because we're getting close. And so far, we're a little shy of where we were last year, which will certainly impact what we do with the money later on this year. So that's really important. And if there's somebody you want to suggest as far as we can go see, it's not too late. We're happy to ask. So we can always send our army out to go talk to them and try to get some money from whomever you may suggest. Anything else on barbecue that I forgot?
We have posters and flyers here. Please take them around town, put them up in your own offices. Please don't litter the street with them, because they're not, free. Take several and push them out.
Yeah, brochures, posters, everything on the table. Please take those with you today. We don't need them. We're 5 weeks away, so please take them and leave them somewhere, wherever that may happen to be.
Brooks, can you send that out electronically so I can push it out to all of my people?
Absolutely.
Thank you, sir.
Anything else on barbecue or what's going on there? All right. Switching hats, Rotary Foundation, March Madness. I don't see Miss Judy in here, but Daniel thankfully put our update in the connector. Thank you for all those you signed up. I can't remember how many teams we had or how many folks. I think it was 14 or 15, but so far we're up to about a little over $1,400 raised for the Rotary Foundation. So Some of you may be out sooner than others. Some of you may be still in it. If one thing that's interesting, I think I mentioned this last year, just as a side note, if you go into the app or go online, you can go to groups, you can look at it. There's a predictor. So if you click on that, it'll tell you what you have to do to win. So if you want to see that, it's actually pretty interesting and pretty accurate. So, but thank you all that are doing that. So far, we've got $1,400, and I think that's good. Any questions? All right.
It is not looking like I'm going to win this year, but David is ahead of me. But I really need the Hogs to win tonight. And I know nobody else probably picked them because if you picked Arizona, you did not pick the Razorbacks to win tonight. So I need them to win for me. So Dana Smith and Ainsley Ledbetter have now made their waiting period. And so we are going to be excited to install them soon. Do we have a date for that, Bill?
I've got to check with everybody.
Okay.
Probably 2 weeks from today.
Okay. Perfect.
We'll probably have a third one. The board's going to vote on somebody real soon.
Okay. Excellent. Excellent. The more the merrier for sure. So I mentioned last week the district has sent out a request that on Saturday, April 11th, we have it's the district's 6760s Day of Service. And so they wanted our club to try to do something on April 11th. And I found a great project for us to be a part of. It's at the Stones River National Battlefield, and it's celebrating National Park Week to come and help do some cleanup and removing invasive plants and things like that. And so it's going to be starting at 8:30 a.m., meeting at Old Fort Park Pavilion near the tennis courts. And they'll be working at Fort Rosencrans, Old Fort Park, and the Lato Creek Greenway. There is a registration required by Thursday the 9th. I will send out an email or maybe even a little Sign Up Genius link. If you would like to participate, I would love as many. You're not required to stay, all day, or I think it's just like that morning. But I will be there. I'm hoping David will be there. I don't think he's got anything going on. He doesn't know anything about this. Saturday, April 11th.
What time?
8:30 a.m. Meet at the Old Fort Park Picnic Pavilion near the tennis courts. So, and it says to wear long sleeve. Volunteers under 14 are welcome. They just cannot participate in the invasive plant removal for some reason. Volunteers should bring work gloves and wear long sleeve shirts, work pants, and closed-toed shoes, and bring a water bottle. So hopefully it'll be a really pretty day. Get out, enjoy the weather and sunshine, and help the national park celebrate their 30th year of the American Battlefield Trust Park Day. So, so we can do that and report back to our district that we did our service. So that would be. Is that on our website? I found it through the city. So I just Googled, volunteer opportunities, Murfreesboro for that date, and it popped up. So that's, so yeah. And also several of you, I think 12 or 13 of you have replied to my doodle poll about setting a date for the spring social. I'm going to give a couple more days for that. There is one date that's in the lead, but I'm not going to give it away. So you just go and vote what days are best for you, and we'll set that up and have a good time. So, and just a quick reminder, we will not be here next week. We will be at Tennessee Craft Butcher out 96. It's Franklin. Yeah, the address, it's in the connector. So 3921 Franklin Road East. So it's out Highway 96 toward Franklin. Okay. So if anybody have anything else before I move along? Okay, so we'll be proud to introduce our speaker, Madeline Laster from MTSU. She is an Arkansas native. Woohoo! And she now serves with campus outreach at MTSU and has been in campus ministry for over 6 years. And so we are so excited to have her come and tell us all about that. So welcome.
I thought a couple of these while the technical things that I am not smart enough to figure out are being figured out. And it's just a sign-up sheet for potential interest of what I'm talking about. If at the end you're like, okay, I'd love to hear more. I'd love to be able to connect with you guys more. Y'all can pass around if you like. Any other thing?
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get it.
Not gonna get it? That's okay.
That is okay. Well, just imagine the things I'm going to be sharing today. I have a pretty vivid describing language, but I think photos would have helped, but that's okay. So like they said, I am Madeline, and I'm not involved in March Madness, but I am a Hogs fan because I am from Arkansas. So woo pig, if anybody else is also a Hogs fan. Just you guys. Yep. I made new friends simply because of Arkansas. Yes, exactly. We love the pigs in some form. Love that. Well, so I am from originally, like I said, Arkansas, right outside of Little Rock. Unless you're from Arkansas, you probably won't know the town. Excuse me. But I grew up very much. I'm going to give you a little backstory about me really quick so I can kind of paint the picture of how I got here and what I'm doing. So I grew up pretty much your everyday 3-sport athlete in high school, and that was my full identity, and everything that I was doing was wrapped up in that. I was pretty involved in the community and everything like that. But oddly enough, now as a full-time minister, I did not go to church once as a kid growing up. We didn't even attend church ever or step foot in a church, to be honest. And it just wasn't a part of our everyday lingo. And so everything I knew was sports. That's who I was. And then I went to college, and there was no more sports. And there was also a lot more there was no more relationship, and I wasn't there with my best friends. And so a lot of what I'd built my entire foundation on came crumbling a little bit. And by a little bit, I mean a lot. And so then in the middle of my sophomore year, after being a freshman and trying to live for everything that college had to offer, there was a student who's a part of the ministry I currently work for, oddly enough. But this was literally 10 years ago. On the campus of Arkansas State University, where I went to college. They met me and started sharing the gospel with me, the gospel of Jesus and the good news. And eventually, it being foreign to me at first, I then heard it and began to understand and really investigate what was going on. And so the Lord actually changed my heart. God changed my heart and then changed my entire life from there. Everything flipped upside down, and it wasn't sports. It was Jesus. How do I look like him, know him, and make him known? And then within the ministry that I happen to be a part of, leadership is a huge component of what we do. And so that was also what I was developed in a ton in college. And so fast forward a little bit, I shared a little bit about this earlier with my new friends, but I lived in Memphis post-grad for about 2 years to learn a little bit more about the Bible, get more training. And then I moved to MTSU to work in June of 2020. What a time to try to start college ministry when no one's on the college campus. It was really fun, actually. But so the things that I had learned in college about following Jesus, making him known, but also raising up leaders impacted me and moved me forward to want to reach other college students for Jesus, but also to develop them into men and women who could impact the world, not just for Christ, mainly for Christ, but also in the areas that they go into as teachers, as moms and dads, as people that would probably be sitting in your shoes in a Rotary Club room years down the road post-graduation. And so campus outreach, some of y'all may have heard of it, you may not have. What is it? It is an interdenominational ministry and international ministry. So it's not just MTSU. Like I said, it is in Arkansas as well, but we have it pretty much mainly over the mid-southeast and then a little bit on the West Coast. And then we also have South Africa. We have, I'm looking at these countries, forgetting their names, but we have South Africa, we have Australia, we have Thailand, we have multiple places, and the goal is to keep expanding and to keep raising up leaders and laborers that will go into these places. And I'm a part of, MTSU is a part of the Memphis region. Memphis region consists of about 7 campuses. And it is University of Memphis, as you can imagine, Arkansas State University, MTSU. I thought somebody said that. I was like, yes. No, MTSU, and then Rhodes College. Actually, the University of Illinois at Chicago is a new expansion out of our region. University of Tennessee, Knoxville, Tennessee Tech University. And I believe that is it. Yes, I believe that's it. And so we kind of cover a little bit of ground in the Memphis region. And like I said, the main goal, our mission statement, is to glorify God by building laborers on the campus for the lost world. That's what we do. And that's kind of our bread and butter, is to be on the campus and do that. And I think maybe like a snapshot of that, what does that look like? Looks a lot like Bible studies on a weekly basis, being in the cafeterias with students, building relationships with them, teaching them things like budgeting and how to initiate to people that are older than them, Also things like a winter conference. We have a New Year's conference every year. We have leadership meetings monthly. We have summer 9-week discipleship programs where they work at Fortune 500 companies. They live in close quarters with a lot of college students, so they have to kind of learn a little bit of humility. And then they get to learn in leadership as well. But I think something for me that I had to wrestle with and also was very convinced of is why the college campus? Why is that going to be where I spend my time? As now a 30-year-old woman who is not in college anymore, why does that make sense? And I think some of the statistics just kind of get me there. And I would say to start, 70% of college students walk away from their faith when they go to college. And I think that was a big one that I was like, oh no, like we're going to be standing in a spot where Jesus is actually becoming less known on the college campus. How do I move toward that? And then not to mention that, but business, political, family, and potential work leaders are born on the college campus. Future leaders of the world and the U.S. and the state, but also the people that will be raising children that are coming up through even like working at the Walmart that you're going to be attending, or working at the banks that we bank with, or corporate America. How much could that be changed if it was impacted with the gospel? And then the last is that college students are the most willing and ready to learn and to go. And they're like, I will do anything for whatever Jesus has for me to do. And I'm going to obey him because I'm ready to go and I'm ready to learn. And even if you look historically, most of the movements that have happened, whether they're religious or not, have been started with the college age student because they're ready to go. They're young, they're youthful, they got good knees, and they're ready to run. And they're excited to go be a part of whatever the world has to offer. And our job is to give them whatever Jesus has to offer and to use that energy that way. Mentioned some of the snapshot. There were some really great photos of the things that we get to do. So that's really unfortunate. But maybe I can somehow get those to you guys at some point. But there's a lot of students. So I myself, I'm one staff woman on a team of 6 people. So there's 5 other men. So it's a great time. And the Lord has really blessed a lot of our ministry. But right now I'm overseeing probably 60 women in some capacity, not directly, but in some capacity that are growing and are being developed as leaders on the campus. And we're also seeing that go through generations of people. So I have gotten the opportunity in my almost 7 years, June 1st will be starting my 7th year, I've gotten the opportunity to hire onto our ministry 3 women over the past few years who want to do the same thing. They want to go and reach more college students, and they've already been doing it as students on the campus. And so getting to see that and getting to see not just what I can impact, but what they're impacting multiply. And they're not even staying at MTSU. They're going, some of them are going to Memphis. Some of them are going to different parts of Tennessee and maybe even Arkansas to be able to continue to multiply and to have that impact. And so I got the pleasure of getting to be a part of them. Again, so sad you can't see the photos because they're the cutest things in the world and they're amazing. But that leads me to, in the multiplying the leaders, in my time on campus, in what God has called me to, he also brings a lot of invitation and he also brings a lot of need. So my entire salary is fully fundraised. And my entire salary increases based on the needs of the ministry. So essentially being the only staff woman, if there's ministry events that are for women, I'm normally the one that's figuring out how to plan them, how to orchestrate them, how to provide for them, and then helping students contribute in certain ways, the way that they can along the way. But there's also the actual practical need that I have to be able to continue to impact these students, to impact the world, impact the nation's workforce, et cetera. And so my current monthly need salary that I'm supposed to have raised is $6,500 per month in monthly donors and giving. And then what I'm currently sitting at is $4,650 per month in current partnerships. And so the way that I have my salary is through partnerships of individuals, companies, churches, et cetera, who with with tax deductible donations partner with me monthly so I can continue to stay on the campus and continue to labor and continue to raise up these men and women and shape them into hopefully what God has for them to help them seize opportunities like that. But so basically what I'm putting before you guys is the biggest need is the desire to stay on the campus, whether that's individually for you all, or if that's your networks that you know that you could open doors to be able to connect with the city. Like I said, didn't grow up in church. So the meeting the Christians and meeting the people that might be interested in a mission is as I go. It's not a let me go talk to everyone I knew as a kid. It's kind of fresh and new. And as I go to new cities, I'm meeting people as I go. And so, yes, my need, like I said, is that full total of $6,500 a month. And I'm really looking to find 18 and a half, if you count the 50, 18 people that could partner with me for $100 a month, or package that however that could look to be able to fulfill that need. But the partnership goes much far beyond just here's my money and run. The partnership actually becomes, you get to see what God is doing through personal updates on Facebook pages, emails, phone calls, text messages. And especially since you're in town, the actual like a possibility for our students to cross over with you guys, to be able to impact some of these younger men and women as people that are trying to impact the city of Murfreesboro and beyond. So the partnership is extended for that reason, for you to be able to impact not just there, but the world via these college students and what they can do. And most of you guys, I don't know if all of you guys have been in a phase where you're like, I've got a spouse and I've got a ton of kids. I can't go be on a college campus from 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. and try to help raise up college students. Most people can't. That's why I do what I do, is so that you guys can do the things that you're in the phase of life doing. And then I'm freed up to be able to go on the campus and do that. But then I get to be the connecting piece between you and the college students in the world. So would love for you guys to consider partnering with me, whether that's individually or through your network, financially for monthly giving, and also just connecting me to people that you know might be interested to be able to partner with me as we continue to reach the world for the gospel, and starting at MTSU, trying to conquer all of MTSU, but then eventually get to the ends of the earth. So that's pretty much all I have for this morning. Did anybody have any questions about any of that? Yes, sir.
I got a comment and a question, but my daughter was involved with the cross at University of Tennessee, and one of the things her and her friends talked about was how to double the size of the organization was that because there were girls in college, they just invited guys, and that's all that they and all of a sudden the guys would get there, then they were like, wow, this is really great, and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it was they took advantage of every asset they had.
That's hilarious. I wonder why.
She's now associate pastor at a small church.
Amazing.
So it continues after. But I was just curious, is the administration and the teachers and professors and stuff at the university, are they involved in this kind of, or have you noticed the reach out from them, or is there any kind of?
It's here and there. So we're technically underneath a registered student organization. So we do have to have a staff advisor. So there is some connecting point there where there's a staff person on the campus that would vouch for, like, we want them here, etc. Beyond that, here and there you'll find maybe a sorority advisor or fraternity advisor, or maybe a coach kind of get a little more buy-in than probably anyone else on the campus. But it's probably just because we don't have as much shoulder rubbing with the rest of the people, because they're either in offices at hours that we may not be on campus, or where they're way later than they are. But yeah, so in different pockets, we have some overlap. Mm-hmm.
Have you got a physical place, an office on campus? Or?
No, that's the fun part. Yeah, our office is the dorms and the sorority houses and the locker rooms. So in a lot of church settings, we partner with a church that's in Murfreesboro. It's called One Church, and we love it. But in the church settings, like, hey, come with me to church. Come with me. I want to invite you to the space in church. And kind of we do that alongside One Church. We also say we, as people who want to reach the lost world, reach the Madelines in college that had never heard anything about Jesus, we go into their space. So we get into their dorm lobbies, we get into their sorority houses and host Bible studies, into their locker rooms and host Bible studies, and their cafeterias, and say, hey, can I sit with you? And they're like, who are you? A little awkward at first, but then they're like, wait, no, I actually understand why you're here. So yeah, no physical building, but maybe one day. You had a question.
Yeah, there are other organizations on campus, such as Wesley Foundation.
Mm-hmm.
Do y'all have interaction between those other organizations on campus, or what is your relationship?
Yeah, interaction and relationships are great. We don't have a lot of overlap event-wise, because it's really kind of sweet the way God has designed where the ministries are, because everyone's reaching a different kind of pocket of campus, if that makes sense. So some people are reaching, like Wesley Foundation, they may be reaching an area that's more of like the back few dorms, like in a certain pocket, or certain areas where they spend most of their time. Ours just happens to be in the student unions where we spend a lot of our time, and then the fraternity houses, sorority houses, and the 2 freshman dorms. But there's like, so we run into the other ministry workers quite a bit, and we're praying for one another, and we're like, how's ministry going? How's everything? So it's same team. It's just almost like, think of a football team. You just have different positions. Same goal though. It's just, we're kind of like, we don't overlap a ton while we're on the field, if that makes sense. Yeah.
I got interested. Do you have any idea how many different college ministries there are now on MTSU?
Oh.
Like 6 or 7.
There's quite a few still. I mean, the main ones I know, there's at least 5 that I for sure know. And there's 2, there's one that's more based out of a church, and it's pretty large. Y'all probably heard of it. It's the Point Ministry. It's college ministry. Great ministry. Love them. They're just more in the church. And so we kind of go, okay, well, if you're going to be in the church, we're going to go on campus. And then there's the Wesley Foundation. And then there's,
Is the Baptist Student Union still?
it is. Baptist Student Union is still there. And then, oh my gosh, I'm forgetting yes, that one's there. And then, yep, I forgot the name of the other one, but I can see the person's face who's the minister, but I would say about 5. Yeah, there's some growing. Every Nation campus is one. It's a newer one. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes, sir.
So I don't know if you have like a tablecloth or a tent at the barbecue festival that all the nonprofits can join us for free.
Would love that. When is the barbecue? I heard bits and pieces while we were trying to. Oh, a flyer! Great.
Lori gets bonus points today.
Yes, she does. She's like, we have an attendee barbecue. Amazing. Okay. Oh, you have a question?
Yes, you
Yes.
talked about your salary and that.
Yes.
But the activities that you put together,
Mhm.
the events that you
Mhm.
put together, how are those funded?
Those are some of them. So, for instance, a Bible study, or if I wanted to have a women's night, or something that is MTSU specific and smaller like that on the campus, that is basically my pocket. And that's where some of that salary amount is allocated for ministry events on the campus. Something bigger like the Orlando Project, which is our summer discipleship program, it's partially with the student registration. So like some of their direct payment goes to room and board and materials. So it's just kind of like whatever you're paying goes directly to these things that we cover. And then we have some things that are like retreat accounts for certain campuses, where if there's a bigger retreat, like we just took a spring break trip and took students to the beach, 70 students to the beach, mind you. So we took a ton of students down there, but there's a retreat account where we were able to reimburse like some breakfast costs or things like that. But most of it comes out of, if it's your personal ministry, it normally comes out of your pocket and then is reimbursed in that way. But that's why it's allocated for that amount. But yeah, so I'd say the bigger ones are, we are technically employed by the Second Presbyterian Church in Memphis. And so they have some funds that are allocated for campus outreach, Memphis region. They're like the hub of all of the campuses. But yeah, on the campus specific things, it's more individual. Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm gonna ask a hard question.
Please do.
Okay. There's been a lot going on with ministries on campus, a lot of political, national news stuff. How is that really affecting your activities on MTSU's campus?
More than you'd think in some ways, and not in the spaces you'd think.
Okay.
I think as students, different views are being developed in different areas. And so there is quite a bit more resistance to the gospel and anything Bible study related, which makes the relationship building portion of it that much more significant. So the slow and steady with 2 that then multiplies out is going to impact significantly more than the gather 50 and hope for the best. And so it has been, like, for me personally, I have seen a lot of pushback in one sorority specifically, because half of the sorority is very much leaning toward, we are irreligious. We don't want anything to do with anything. But then there's still, God is providing people where it's like, there's one that's interested, or 2 or 3 here. And it's like, we're building relationships there, and they begin to reach their friends, because it comes way better from my best friend than the 30-year-old lady trying to tell you about it.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. Does that kind of answer your question?
Yeah, it does. I guess to take it a little bit further though, it doesn't seem like you're getting resistance, but maybe not combativeness.
Correct.
Okay.
Mhm.
That's good.
Mhm.
I hope it stays that way.
Yes, me
Well,
too.
that goes the other direction.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't decrease. Yeah. Of course. Yes.
I know, I'd like to say that I know Madeline personally, and I know a lot of her colleagues personally as well, and can just attest to the good things that they do, and their heart and everything is in the right place, and they do a big impact with the students that they work with, so.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Small gifts of appreciation. It's a rotary pen.
Oh,
And there's a challenge coin with the 4-way test that we recited. earlier.
amazing.
So
Thank
you
you so much. My
You do
goodness.
such great things, and we're just
Like I said, if you are interested and you're like, I would love to hear more about this, we'd love to connect with you, a little sign up sheet, just go and write information, now or so. Okay, that.
thanks again. Okay, so remember next week we will not be here. Don't come here. You will be all alone. And so we'll just see you out at Tennessee Craft Butcher next Thursday. Thank you.